common is ED?
Well, it kind of depends on how you look at it. If you go with a strict definition using the IIEF, it has about a 40% lifetime male incidence. That means 40% of us all over the world at one point or another will have erectile dysfunction as categorized by the IIEF with a severe, like a numerical definition. Personally and anecdotally, in my practice, probably more like 60 to 70% of men are in some way not satisfied with their erectile function, or how easy it is to obtain an erection or maintain an erection, or it's not hard enough. It's important, part of the mental aspect of erectile dysfunction is to not get down about it. It's not gonna end your sex life. It's a problem, you need to face on, you need to address it, you need to be direct with your doctor, you need to take those small changes, those small actionable objectives to overcome it. And one of the most important things to remember is this is not something that's gonna get better on its own. This is something that, the more you tend to ignore it, the worse it tends to get over time. So it's something that if you take charge of it, you recognize it, you work on it, you can start to have meaningful improvement pretty much right away.
What can someone do to remove pressure and stress around ED?
Well, one thing that I like to kind of encourage my guys to do is to kind of think of it more as erectile fluctuation. And that's kind of how I refer to it, because for most guys, it's not a consistent thing, unless there is a medical condition or a serious psychological issue or a, medication side effect. So it is more of a fluctuation. And so to kind of think of it that way and approach every sexual interaction as kind of a clean slate, to just know that it's not a stable thing typically, it's much more of a fluctuation.
One of the most important things I could tell someone experiencing ED is that you are not defined by it. Same thing as a couple. You're not defined by it as an individual, and it does not define your relationship. The same way if you had a cold, you are not defined by your cold.
Okay, then how should I define my relationship if my partner has ED?
It's a really valid question, and I would answer that two ways. One is as if your partner didn't have ED. That's how little it really needs to be a part of the relationship. You don't want to kick it out. It's like you want to include it, but it's not going to stop you from having really positive, successful sexual experiences, intimate experiences, and being close. It's kind of like, well, there's a new thing on the menu of possibilities, and we're gonna include that in our repertoire. And number two, the second important way to define your relationship is to really have a conversation with yourselves and each other about what really are the most important things to each of you that make a relationship great. And that's what defines your relationship. Or even more specifically, what makes your relationship great? And that's what defines it.